Welcome to episode 18 of Drew's Baseball Crew here on this Monday night. Myself, Drew Skyberg, bringing you your winning lineup here on Fantasia Sports. Look, it's going to be a great Tuesday here. Not many. This is the second last Tuesday of Drew's Baseball Crew. I know. Might throw some postseason ones in there. Might bring some guests on for those. It'll be a lot of fun. But keep that in mind. But first, you just got to join me on Fantasia Sports. That link is down below in the description. Go check that out. Please, they've been giving out free stuff. They gave out a free NFT to people who entered $1 contests or more for Sunday games. That's football, but hey, why not join in some baseball, do some free contests as well? Why not? Is what I always say. It's a free contest, right? It doesn't get any better than that, but otherwise, some announcements. Still the technical difficulties getting that Facebook page live. I will be contacting Melon Support, getting that fixed here. But otherwise, on Wednesday, I'm hoping we can say Drew's Sports Crew will be live on YouTube and Facebook pages as well. With YouTube, of course, that's where we always are for sure. I'm hoping we can be live on those platforms, as well as, of course, being on all the listening platforms, right? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and much more. So just want to get those out here before we start. So Tuesday, again, September 27th, is the slate. I will be at the Milwaukee Brewers game again. So that'll be a lot of fun. They are facing the St. Louis Cardinals. So be a fun game to talk about, include some pitchers, of course, in the slate, but where do we start this? You know where we start this. The starting pitcher report is where we go. Let's go through it here on Tuesday. So some of them right away stand out. Some pitchers I would potentially take. Corey Kluber being one of those where might not be, but I'd consider him in a two-pitcher league as where he is in that category. XBA of 245 against the current Cleveland Guardians roster for him. Exit velo then against 84.8 miles per hour. I like those numbers there for Kluber. All right, well, here's one. If you want to chase upside, Hunter Green could have an outing where he'll give you 6 innings, a 1-run ball, 10 strikeouts. And the downfall though could be, the floor. Let's say it's pretty low. It could be a rough outing there for Green. I don't know if he's going to be on any sort of pitch limit. Also, when we're at that point at the end of the year. Remember, you want to find teams that are maybe playing for something, players with something to prove, which Green might fit in that category, but you got to remember he's one of those assets where teams are going to protect him at all costs, maybe even pitch limit him. So maybe not Green, but just wanted to throw his name out there if you are chasing some upside. I think Joey Wentz is a guy who has something to prove there for the Detroit Tigers. Again, I don't know how many innings he will be going, but I think Joey Wentz is a name to keep out like a lookout for against the Royals. So he might be a guy I'm pairing again. I'd be intrigued to see some numbers, looking at pitch count. Hopefully we don't see any sort of pitch limit on him, but wanted to throw that one out there as a pitcher I might be starting on Tuesday. Jose Barrios, he's one of those, again, I'd be probably fading against the Yankees, but you never know. He has good numbers against the Yankees for his career, but this year has been just up and down for him. Then also, the Baltimore Orioles have put together some nice pitchers. I know Kyle Bradish has an XBA of 355 against him, but he's put together some good starts as of late. Probably not taking him, but I just want to keep that in mind. Pablo Lopez is a guy who I would not be starting there on Tuesday, but here's my high floor matchup. If you pair, I'm going to throw this pair out there. I bet you're not going to hear this pair anywhere else. Joey Wentz, Carlos Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco being that high floor guy against that Marlins. I think he's pretty safe. XBA 225, pretty good at exit velo numbers. XWOBA 248. Love those numbers there for Carrasco. You pair him with a guy like Joey Wentz, who might be a boomer bust kind of guy. I would in a 2-pitcher kind of thing. You might just see that on my team. Again, check that out on the Instagram at Drew Sports Crew for the official lineup. Zach Wheeler going against the Cubs. That could be a good game for him in terms of strikeouts. The Cubs love to strike out there. Lance Lynn hoping he can, get some consistency going for him. Could be something. So Adrian Hauser against the Cardinals. I'd say no thanks. Miles Michaelis, probably no thanks as well. Lance McCullers is being the other one, coming back from injury. I've liked how he's performed so far this year. McCullers being still, come back from injury. I do like McCullers, so him and Carlos Carrasco are kind of like those high floor guys I'd pair together. And then some other ones, James Caprillion against the Angels might be more of a boomer bust one. Patrick Sandoval against the Athletics. So both of those pitchers I think could have some interest there. Otherwise, Robbie Ray against the Rangers, of course, he might be actually a winner on Tuesday. So I'd throw him in there with Carrasco and Sandoval, Caprilli, and McCullers as well, kind of that group. Otherwise, you got Logan Webb against the Rockies, Colorado Rockies, at Oracle Park. So that's another matchup I like, and also Herman Marquez against him as well. I think those are some decent matchups. I'll name those guys, but I'd still be leaning towards my main ones there. McCullers, Carrasco being kind of those other safe guys. Wentz then maybe as an upside guy, and I'll throw, I guess, Sandoval and Caprillion in those upside things. And, of course, I'll throw Ray and Webb with that high floor group is where I'd go. A lot of starting pitchers, as always, but I do always like to mention my favorites. So there you go. Let's go then to the catcher position. Let's go right to the position players here. Let's talk about it. So right away, when you look at the numbers, I mean, we have some great catchers starting, some catchers with great numbers off of their opposing pitchers. And that's what we love to see here on the podcast. I love to see it. So here are the numbers. JT Realmuto against Marcus Stroman, 6 for 17, 1 walk to 2 strikeouts for Realmuto. If you want to pay up on catcher, Tuesday is your day to do so. So I will keep that in mind. Yan Gomes against Zach Wheeler, if he gets the start there, 5 for 11 with a home run, 1 walk to 3 strikeouts for Yan Gomes. Love those numbers for him. Omar Narvaez against Miles Michaelis, some good numbers for him, 4 for 12 for his career. Otherwise, you get Tucker Barnhart, a guy who is 5 for 11 for his career off Zach Greinke. I am probably, depending on salary, I will probably end up taking him. I do enjoy taking some low budget catchers. I think Tucker Barnhart fits that comp there. Otherwise, I mean, that's probably it for me. I could get behind if you are going to say, no, Drew, I don't like your Joey Wentz pick. I'm taking Salvador Perez. You could do that. I mean, that would be another way to take your catcher, paying a premium price for that. Let's go to first base, however. So right away, there's some numbers that stand out. Anthony Rizzo is 7 for 19 with 2 home runs to 3 strikeouts off of Jose Barrios. So you love those there. Luis Arraez, if you want more points, Luis Arraez does have a home run off Lance Lynn, 7 for 20 for his career off of him, 1 walk to 2 strikeouts as well. You also have Ryan Mountcastle against Michael Wacha, 5 for 13, 2 home runs to 2 strikeouts. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 300 average for his career off of Jameson Taillon. Otherwise, you got, those are the main ones. Rowdy Tellez off Miles Michaelis does have a home run, is batting, 364 with an OPS over 1100. So maybe Rowdy Tellez is your guy on Tuesday. I might be including him. Look, I'm at the game too, so why not include him in my lineup? Otherwise, you got some not so great numbers, right? Rhys Hoskins is 1 for 14 off Stroman for his career with 4 strikeouts. Not a guy you want to play on Tuesday night. Another one, though, Christian Walker is 400 average for his career off of Lance McCullers. Could be something there, is what I'll say. That's kind of first base. I gave some numbers, but if I'm looking at it, I do enjoy having Rowdy Tellez there. Let me zoom this out a little bit. There we go. Got to see that sports crew background here on the live stream. Going through it, yeah, those are kind of my main favorites. Did not mention Freddie Freeman, who does have a 500 average off of Blake Snell for his career. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I'm going to go with those main ones I mentioned. Rizzo, Mountcastle, and then Rowdy Tellez is kind of the other one I throw in there. I'd be okay with taking, a first baseman like that on Tuesday night. I think second base for me is already made up. I'm taking Jeff McNeil, who arguably has the best matchup on Tuesday. 9 for 16 with a home run off Pablo Lopez. He's had great numbers. He's only struck out once against him. So if you're looking points-wise, you lose points for strikeouts, there you go. I mean, I think McNeil, you pencil him in on Tuesday for sure. Otherwise, if you don't want to agree with me, you go with Jose Altuve against Zach Davies, who has dominated that matchup there, 750 average, 2 doubles in that as well. Otherwise, if you want to go, I would suggest Garrett Hampson against Webb just based on the numbers, but Colorado plays a factor for me. Will not be suggesting that on Tuesday. I do love Andres Jimenez. I think him against Corey Kluber, why not? He's put together some great at-bats against him. He's got a home run off him. So could be a matchup there. Jonathan India also has walked a lot against Mitch Keller 3 times out of 11 plate appearances. Might not seem like a lot, but that is. So could be something. Vaughn Grissom against Paulo Espino, who is not performing well this year. If you're looking at that, Colton Long revenge game against St. Louis, those could always be fun. But I probably would be suggesting that. I'd probably go, McNeil, or if you are not liking that McNeil pick, I'd suggest Jimenez or Altuve. Those kind of my matchups. Ketel Marte, but he struggled this year. He's 4 for 11 off of Lance McCullers. I just want to throw him out there if you're interested. Depending on price, of course. Let's go to third base. We have third base, shortstop, and outfield here before we wrap up. Third base is highlighted by 3 main guys. Rafael Devers against Kyle Bradish, 455 average with an OPS almost 1,200. Kyle Farmer against Mitch Keller. You might be like, what? Yeah, his number is there. OPS a little under 1,100 for him. Then Austin Riley off Paulo Espino. Some great numbers. OPS over 1,300, approaching 1,400 for him. So those are kind of the main ones. Obviously, I think Riley's probably my favorite against Espino. Might do a little Braves stack. By little, I might mean it's not really a stack if I do 2 or 2, but maybe 3. But love those options. Luis Guillorme against Pablo Lopez there of the Marlins. So these Mets hitters, you might be like, good matchup there. You just heard me say Jeff McNeil. I'm including Luis Guillorme. Yeah, Luis Guillorme. A fill-in player once in a while. You'll see he starts to at like third. He's kind of like the Mets. I'm kind of want to say Jace Peterson for the Brewers, but not really. They both kind of do that they do the fill-in job, and they do it well too. So Guillorme 4 for 8 for his career off of Lopez. I'd be fine with starting Guillorme possibly, depending on where he is in the lineup. If he's batting 8, 9, maybe you pair him with McNeil, who might be batting leadoff tomorrow. I'm just saying that could be something there. Seriously, check that out. Heimer Candelario against Zach Greinke has some good numbers for him. I like that for the Tigers. So 2 Tigers I mentioned now with Barnhart and Candelario. So keep that in mind. Of course, Jose Ramirez always seems to have good numbers off of his opponent being Corey Kluber. Why not? Gunnar Henderson off Michael Wacha. If you like including rookies, Henderson might be your rookie on Tuesday. Just want to throw that out. Like that matchup there against Michael Wacha. Otherwise, that's probably it for me on third base because, yikes. Not a lot of good numbers for other guys. Let's go to short. Shortstop again. Ha-Seong Kim is the first one we mentioned. 5 for 9 off Tyler Anderson. Why not chase upside here? Ha-Seong Kim could give you one of those 2 or 3 home run nights. Why not? I mean, it can happen. Maybe even just a home run. That'd be fine too, but you get the point. I always love throwing this matchup out when it happens. Corey Seager against Robbie Ray. 8 for 43, 18 strikeouts. Yes, that is Corey Seager's numbers. It is a big yikes there for Seager. Want to just remind people of that. Brandon Crawford against German Marquez. I like this matchup more in Coors. However, I still might take it. 351 average, OPS almost 1,000, and that's a 40 plate appearance sample size. So pretty big sample size. So I'd love to see that. So I would consider that. Willy Adames has been hot lately against Miles Michaelis. Good matchups for him as he dominates right-handed pitching. Love that there for Adames. Otherwise, it seems like I suggest Bryson Stott every week, but if he gets in the lineup and through the 7 to 9 spot, that universal DH in the NL just makes him so enticing. So I'd possibly include him. Javier Baez has picked it up lately against Zach Greinke. Could be something there. 3 for 7 for his career off him with no strikeouts. I like to point that out because Baez is strikeout prone. Maybe that could help you out with a nice Tigers stack. Yeah, I'm suggesting possibly stacking the worst offense in baseball. You bet. I think in baseball things happen, and this might be a night where things happen. Francisco Lindor could be the guy who completes your Mets stack. 6 for 17 is Lindor, only 3 strikeouts, and with a home run, I should add. So keep in mind of Lindor. But there are 2 potential stacks there. If you do Mets and Padres, why not? Or not Mets and Tigers, sorry. But still, my point remains, why not? Let's go to outfield here then before we wrap up. Sorry, going fast. There's just a lot of players to get to, and I want to make sure I get to them all. Everyone's watching Aaron Judge, and he has good numbers off Barrios, you bet. 8 for 20 with 2 home runs. So, I mean, Judge has had a season. It's like, when is he going to slow down? When is he going to slow down? He doesn't slow down. He just keeps going. So, I would be fine with Aaron Judge on Tuesday. Charlie Blackmon, going through that one. Again, we'd prefer it if it was in Coors, but 9 for 22. Love the numbers with 1 home run, 3 walks to 3 strikeouts. OPS over 1,100. So there you go. Could be your matchup. More outfielders, though. It seems like this whole Mets offense has good numbers off Lopez. Nimmo is no different, 7 for 22. Probably fading him, though. I think there's better outfield options like Lamonte Wade Jr. off of German Marquez. I enjoy taking Giants hitters who are like more in a platoon role in the outfield, like Lamonte Wade, where you'll see him lead off. Love how Gabe Kapler uses them. So Wade is going to be a guy who I think you take tomorrow as that potentially in that leadoff spot. Love that for him. Dylan Carlson has numbers off Adrian Hauser that might make you want to start him in the outfield on Tuesday night in your lineup. 5 for 14, double, a triple. And yeah, Hauser hasn't looked great as of late. I know that Mets start last week, but I think, I'm not buying it just yet. So just want to throw that one out there. Wow, Christian Yelich is not a guy. 5 for 34 with 12 strikeouts against Miles Mikolas. Probably not starting him. If Gavin Sheets you can get in the outfield, he might be a guy. 4 for 9 there for Sheets. If he, depends on his lineup status. Otherwise, Mike Yastrzemski, you like to throw, like I said, I like to include some of those outfielders. I'm probably picking between Yastrzemski and Lamonte Wade, probably taking Wade, but want to keep options open. I do want to mention Joey Gallo's 3 for 5 with 2 home runs off Blake Snell, but that does not mean I take him. But could be. There's a name. If Tyrone Taylor gets the start, he is batting 429 off of Miles Mikolas. So potentially you take, so far the names from that Brewer game, it's Narvaez, Taylor, Tellez, maybe Adames are the 4 I'd potentially consider again. But Kyle Schwarber, revenge game against the Cubs. I know it's not really a revenge game, but former team could be a guy you want to take there. Otherwise, look, outfield's always the toughest, even though there's so many outfielders. Like I always like to throw rookies out there. As Waldo Cabrera off Barrios, if he gets the start, he could be a rookie. You add Tuesday night. I always love including Keston Hiura against right-handed pitching, but depends if he gets the start. They sometimes like to go with McCutchen, but if Hiura gets the start, I take Hiura over Adames, over Taylor, over everyone except Tellez, basically, is where I would stand with that. But yeah, I mean, like McCutchen, go back to my point, 2 for 7 or 2 for 16 off of Mikolas for his career. No, not a lot of success for him. I'll throw some deep names out. Jake Cave against Lance Lynn. Akil Baddoo off Zach Greinke. Again, if he's active there for that game. But otherwise, that's probably going to be it for the outfield. So to sum up Tuesday's slate, I think there's a lot of stacks that a lot of people would not expect that you could take Tuesday night and you could have success. And I say that with the pitchers too. Like, I mean, there's some pitchers in there. Like, I surprised, before looking at the slate that I would be suggesting them, but going to the numbers, looking at matchups, I could see it. I mean, I can see the potential here to include them Tuesday night in either your 2-pitcher starting lineup, your 1-pitcher starting lineup, but of course your Fantasia lineup, which is 2-pitcher. And then some of these other stacks, right? We mentioned Mets, we mentioned Tigers, we mentioned potential Brewers stack there. There's some good matchups there for the Braves. So just keep all of those in mind when you're making your Tuesday lineup. And of course, just have fun. Why not? That's kind of the point here at the Sports Crew. And that is what you do with Fantasia Sports. So again, join Fantasia Sports. Link is in the description. My lineups, again, will be posted on Instagram at Drew Sports Crew. The Twitter is also at Drew Sports Crew. Drew's Sports Crew then is the Facebook and YouTube. Again, hoping we can have this all live on Facebook as well as YouTube and Twitch as well. And that's kind of all I have here myself, Drew Skyberg. Going to be signing off here. Good luck, everyone, on Tuesday night. So thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew's Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.